unos, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the NLG Show. It is Thursday night. Here we are.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What is your desire? It's the NLG Show. The chat is on fire.
It's the new Friday.
Look who's there. Nathan
It's
Fisher.
Nate and Niall. What's up, boys?
Niall's on there too. I don't see him yet.
Well, that's weird because you're right. He's on the screen, but he's not in the actual chat.
Maybe
what is he doing?
Retracted his message.
This is Death Stranding stuff right here.
Oh,
man. No, I don't see
so
him.
He's in two places. He's in the living world, and then now he's in the underworld.
That's right.
You can go back and forth.
All right, do not adjust your screens. We're trying something new tonight, and if it works, it's going to lead me to doing some things with our videos. But for the first time, I'm going to attempt to run this podcast in 60 frames per second. Now, what does that mean? What it means for us down below, not much, because our webcams are not 60 frames per second. But this is more for how we show videos, more for how we might do live events going forward. And I'm going to take another shot at a Project xCloud preview, but through a different mechanism. Instead of using the webcam and trying to capture it and having all that problem, I found something that my Samsung Note 9 does, and it might actually work. So we're gonna take a look at that tonight, as well as talk about the great stuff going on around in gaming. There's a lot to talk about. There's all kinds of stuff going on. We have the lead up to.
Been busy.
It has been. We got the lead up to next week's Microsoft Xbox X19 show. We've got big games coming out this month, and we have some more Sony news because they are still the times at Sony are still changing. So lots to talk about. But first, my able-bodied crew. No bra tonight. I don't know where he is. But tonight, it's the three of us once again. Peter, how are you, my brother?
Still alive, kicking and screaming. Some gaming at night once in a while. Well, once in a while. If I can get gaming in, that's not good. So most of the time, there's always gaming in at night, regardless of how late it's getting. So, but yeah, good stuff. Lots of news. Exciting.
Yep. Very much so. So when you have had the chance to game, what have you been gaming? What have you been playing? Should I guess?
I don't think you have to guess a whole lot. There's always like Breakpoint.
And Breakpoint.
No, actually, I played another game.
Really?
That I got this week. See if we can pull it up.
Really? Sorry, my hair is really weird tonight.
You also got a headset here, like I do.
Yeah, that is funny. That was funny. Peter took his headset off, and he has an indentation here where he's been on his headset all day.
Unblur my background.
Ooh, Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
Olympics 2020. Yeah, I was on sale.
Have you played it yet?
I've played a little bit. I played the 100-meter dash, and there was another thing, gymnastics. I'm going through story mode, so it's a lot of I don't know, a lot of kind of filler in my opinion. But
it has a story mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when Mario and a couple of others to kind of got into the in a retro device, so they are basically going in the retro Olympics games. So everything is like sprite based and stuff. And then you have Luigi and some other ones. They're in the 3D kind of world. So it's fun.
Awesome.
It's
So how is it as a game? I mean,
I haven't played it. I haven't played it a ton. But so far it's good. I mean, the 100-meter dash was fun.
Okay.
But I've only done it with button presses. But apparently you can use your Joy-Cons and maybe shake them. I don't know. I haven't figured that out. So yeah. And let's see what else I've been playing. Oh, today I won volume 2. Well, actually, it ended up being volume 4 for the Pinball FX3, the Williams tables. They did a stream and showed up stuff. I thought, I'm gonna check it out, and that's when I won. Where I won volume. Well, it said volume 2, but they gave me the wrong code initially. That was for volume 4, and then they give me volume 2, but that code was expired. So they tried a few more codes, and they were all expired. So at least 4 worked. So I'm happy.
All right, very cool.
I love that pinball. That pinball FX3. It's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah, pinball FX is good, and the other one that's out there is also pretty good. Pinball. Oh, it's got a lot of the old arcade tables. It's like the Bally's pinball something.
Oh, right.
No, I can't remember exactly. I have to think of it while we're talking, but
yeah. So far, what I've played is the Pinball FX is the best.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those are fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, and even the free tables that you get, I used to play those a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I've been upgrading, ever since from FX1. So.
But the tables aren't that expensive, which is always nice.
They're fairly inexpensive. I mean, once you start adding them all up, it's like yeah.
Well, sure.
It's expensive,
but
I mean, they're not. It's that, yeah. I mean,
Pinball Arcade. That's what the other one is. Pinball Arcade's the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you spend, so what do you spend on tables?
I don't know. You typically get maybe like $3, $4, $10. Which is
not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Hey, Jago, what's up, brother? So we got Jago, we got Nal.
Nice. Oh, that's lovely.
It's always a good party.
Jago said, "You fraud." I said, a true podcaster is a fraud.
That's right. Oh my God, it's always fun to jump into retro Renegade's chat room right about the time when they start talking about some weird shit.
You feel right at home.
Oh yeah. You turn it on and I go, well, my kids are home. I can't. Let me put my headset on.
Earmuffs, kids. Earmuffs.
Yeah. You're what do you? Oh, someone's playing Outer Worlds. Oh, someone muted himself. Hello,
it's in the Outer Worlds.
We can't hear you.
Okay.
Ah, there you go.
Again.
All right, now he's unmuted. So, well, so what are you up to, Chris?
Well, these past couple weekends, I know what is on. I wasn't on last week. I was in Corpus. A good buddy of mine, his daughter had a Sweet 16
Very
party,
nice.
and so we went down there and stayed along on the beach. And
Nice.
even though it was cold at first, but kind of warmed up to the 60s. So enjoyed some beach time and a little bit of party, a little bit of whiskey. And when I went down there, I don't know why, I was planning on bringing my controller so I can hook it up to the phone and try to get some gaming, some streaming in, but I didn't. So, but going forward, that's something that I'm gonna have to try to, plan. Throw my controller in the bag and try to do some gaming on the road. So,
Well, pretty soon you'll have some ability to do that.
yeah.
So.
And the last time, whenever I did some testing on the streaming here at home on the xCloud, my modem, I need to make some improvements to my modem so I can at least get to where I can do 5.0 gigahertz. Because mine is only putting out 2.4, and that's not enough to,
No, you really
good gaming.
You really
There's
need-
a lot of lag.
Yeah, you really need 5G.
So I'm gonna make improvements on that
So
here pretty soon.
it's not hard to get a 5G router. I mean, it really isn't.
No,
5G access point.
I was looking at some, so I'll probably hit you guys up later on.
Okay, they're not. I mean, that's the great part is it's not that expensive. And what do you have out there for internet?
Right now it's just Spectrum.
Okay.
I think I'm barely getting. I think I'm barely getting like 40 megabytes.
Oh yeah, you need to get. They need to get in Texas. In big ass
I
Texas.
can get better, but my wife is the one that's been taking care of that bill. So I know I mentioned to her a couple times. Said, "What speeds do we have? I need some better speeds. I'm a gamer, please."
Jago said he's got a 5G router through Spectrum.
Yeah, well, I gotta look. I might just buy one instead of having to worry about. How you pay that monthly? You're just renting that modem, so I might just buy one so I can get a good one. So combo. We'll see, but as far as gaming, as soon as when Outer Worlds came out, I jumped on it right away. And I'm on the planet Roseway. If you know what that is.
It's not. It's
past Groundbreaker. Well,
yeah. I'm where you are. It's not. It's Terra 2, but it's the Roseway landing pad.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I just got there myself.
Yeah, but like I said last weekend, I went out of town, and I played a little bit when I got back in. So,
yeah, I've just been playing that every chance I get to play, and I'll do that after we get off tonight. I'll get a little bit of bit of that in. But give it. So, I talked about it last week. What's your opinions of Outer Worlds?
Well, I was kind of late. You know how a lot of people compare it to Fallout, and especially Fallout New Vegas. Mm-hmm. I'm a late gamer that got into the Fallout series, so I had not played New Vegas. I played Fallout 4. So, but playing this, it reminds me of Fallout, but it also reminds me of the beginnings of, like Mass Effect.
Really?
And KOTOR. Well,
okay,
not so much that it's exactly the same, but what I love about this is that you're able to pick companions to run with you, and you're able to kind of control their gear, their special abilities along with yours. So what they bring to the table affects you, like their specialties and so on. So they add to your overall abilities. So I'm really enjoying that. I was talking to a buddy at work. He's a big time gamer also, and so we were talking about how you start off, you like the certain you know the job, like the certain job you pick, depending on your intelligence. If you're a good hacker, you sneak around, or maybe you're just a brute. So we were talking about that, how like the first time around, you try this, next time, his second turn run, he's going around trying to be as dumb as he can be, just a brute, just going around meleeing everybody, and he can't really lockpick anything. He said it's kind of bad that way because you can't really, open up anything. So, there's some challenges there depending on how you try to play it out, but at least it gives you that freedom somewhat.
Okay.
But I love the dialogue, the story, the interaction between the characters, NPCs, and so on. And remember a while back we were talking with Cognito, and he was worried Anthem's dialogue system setup,
Right.
that it was not going to be as in depth as Mass Effect and Dragon Age.
Yeah.
And I especially after playing this, it's like, yeah, I have to agree. I mean, BioWare definitely dropped the ball on the dialogue and to go along with the story. And, your choices in the dialogue that can affect the outcome of the game. So you can see a little bit of that in this. And my friend at work, he's already completed the game. And so he said he definitely saw at the end how the decisions that he made throughout the game definitely affected the outcome. So for him,
That's cool.
That is
that
cool.
these are the type of games that I love, to where you have the freedom to explore, but at the same time there's a direction. It's kind of like we were talking about Breakpoint, right? You're so caught up in the side missions and just exploring, and if that works for you, that's fine. But a game like this, you can get sidetracked, but not so much to where you're not going to miss out on the main story. Like on Fallout 4, that was one of the complaints that me and my buddy at work were talking about. That was one of the Fallouts that it was too huge. You got lost in the world. You forgot about the story, and the story really wasn't all that great. To where you're like, oh, I need to get stay on track with the main story. So, but this one it's just great. It's a great game, well polished, and of course it's a single player game. So you're not gonna see a lot of issues with glitches and stuff like that, with bugs. Like you will with games that are they're online, the multiplayer games. So it's a different beast. But it's better. These are easier for the developers to optimize and be a little bit steadier. You're not worried about people trying to jump on servers and so on. So
Not true.
You do bring up.
it's a good change of pace to go from playing a co-op game or a multiplayer game, and this is just a straight up good single player game. So Xbox adding Obsidian to their studios was a great idea.
Oh,
One of the best things done. So,
like we said this last week that there was a reason. There was a reason. Hey, Siberia. There was a reason that Microsoft acquired them, and a lot of people were, we're talking about they're making a AA game. They're not really, and the game's going to come out for other. What's really funny is, once again, here's a game that comes out on Game Pass, but people watching that game through people playing it on Game Pass, it's like the number three best sold digital PlayStation game of the month of October. So I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to, and I'm glad to see.
It's a great game.
It is.
Yeah,
It is. And
regardless if it was on Game Pass, regardless if our Obsidian had joined Xbox Game Studios, it doesn't matter that this game was, I think, was still going to be a good game. But it definitely helps if some of that Microsoft money kind of helped, kind of finish polishing up this game there towards the end. Well,
all
no,
the
they were
better.
published by what? But they were published by somebody else, right?
It was published by somebody else, but that doesn't mean that
So it had a
Obsidian
little bit
didn't.
of, yeah. So
That
I'm
was-
sure the little bit of Microsoft money kind of helped out with it. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they don't have to worry about,
hmm
their-
Yeah. So
their near future. They can just build a game and focus on that.
Exactly. And
yeah,
imagine what the sequel's going to be like.
yeah. I think this is the next Fallout. As far as for Obsidian has their Fallout. They don't have to worry about beholden to Bethesda and what they want Fallout to be. This is Obsidian's, and they're part of Xbox. So I tell you what, Bethesda needs to take notice. So whatever next Fallout game that's coming out, hopefully they're paying attention.
Hopefully to get back to.
Yeah, that's from what I hear. Like the buddy at work, he's a big.
That's what they need.
We were talking about that. He's like, I love New Vegas and Fallout 1 and 2. He said 3 was okay, but New Vegas. So we'll see. It's not the same team that. What the teams that are working on it and Bethesda Studios, not the same team.
No.
What and the older that Fallouts were in Exile and Obsidian, and they're both at Xbox Game Studios.
So hang on. So I know Niall's joking, but Microsoft would probably tell him to make a Halo Fallout game. Could you imagine though? So see, I know you're trying to be trying to be smart and funny there, Niall, but you're onto something. I can imagine a Halo game that is more built on Fallout than it is, just a straight up first person shooter. Well, no, Gears of War Fallout wouldn't work. But
that's the good thing. I mean, joking or not, Niles, this is the growth of Xbox Studios adding all these development teams that bring in talent and style of how they make games. You can't say it's impossible that this could happen for maybe Halo will break out from doing the traditional Halo game and do something like this because they have the lore. So does Gears too. So it's not I mean, we've seen Halo Wars. We've seen. Wasn't there a Gears? Didn't they have like a Gears war? Gears like a strategy?
Halo Wars.
Halo Wars. They had the what was the?
It's just Halo Wars. Gears didn't do. Well, they got Tactics coming out.
They have Tactics,
soon,
but.
So.
Hey, by the way, while we're talking, I'm going to be Horizon Fallout with cars. There you go. Now you're on to something. I'm going to, while we're talking here, I want to run the Jedi Fallen Order trailer. I want to see how it looks in hot 60 frames per second. So just while we're chatting here, I want to see if it breaks the PC. You guys tell us. What it looks like on stream. So, if so far
we've lost.
Let's see. It's CPU's holding up here.
The Empire's hunting Jedi survivors.
Just gonna turn the sound down a little bit.
They know.
Just let me know on in the chat room. Let us know if the video is choppy or chunking, or if it starts to buffer or anything like that. If not. This bodes well for future video showings on our channel here, where we can do trailers and stuff in 60 frames per second. So Coop's saying it looks good, and it does actually. I don't know if you guys can see it through Skype. I don't know if Skype is 60 or not, but it's definitely pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, Coop says it looks good.
All right, that's good enough for me. All right,
Exactly.
so we'll.
Diego
Awesome.
said it's look too good. He's too broke. He can't afford it.
Well, that's what EA Access is for. You better
EA Access,
believe. You better believe that I'm going to be
and-
EA accessing that bad boy.
But this is that time of year where you got to start donating blood, start selling blood.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
You want to afford some of these games.
Well, let's talk about what's coming out this month. So that's
What is coming out?
Yeah. So let's start. Let's take the month of November. So first up, coming out on November 8th, which is tomorrow, is
I'll have a joke, but it's not past midnight yet. It's not appropriate.
Is and a Need for Speed Heat, which also I'm going to play with EA Access.
Yeah. I've heard a couple people talk about it. Like, they said it's fun.
Yeah.
But don't expect it to be on the level of like Forza Horizon.
What about the old school NFS? They made.
I enjoyed
the last couple of them. They made it more like kind of a movie like thing, and it's like, ugh.
It
to me, that's not what the meat and potatoes are. It's like
No.
the old school is like you're getting either chased or you chase. You beat a cop or you run away from the cops.
I mean, to me, it doesn't need to be Forza Horizon. It needs to be Need for Speed. That's what it needs to be. It needs to get back to what Need for Speed used to be, which, like you said, Peter, is getting chased by the cops.
Right.
Most wanted.
Yeah.
Oh. Coop says he remembers when Need for Speed game was a big deal, when a new Need for Speed. And I remember when and it's still Ghost Games, so they're still behind it. So that's good. At least EA hasn't shuttered them and jettisoned the IP. So give them credit for that. But that's a game that, for whatever reason, just lost its way and needs to get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall see. So that's on November 8th.
Yeah.
Next up, of course, is the big one, the one that everybody has been waiting for since the beginning of time, or at least the beginning of the new the new Kojima era, and that is Death Stranding. Death Stranding is coming out tomorrow, or at least actually, I'm sorry, I think it's out tonight. I think it is out at 9:00.
You might be right.
They've already received their copy.
Yeah, I believe that is true. So, and in fact, our brother Niall, who is in the chat room, is going to be streaming that for us over on the Twitch channel tomorrow morning, starting at 9 a.m. And
so he will put on his DHL hat and start delivering those packages.
He'll be delivering them babies. Norman Fetus starts it, babies. Norman Fetus. That is fantastic.
P-colored glasses.
Norman Fetus, yeah.
That is on. Oh my goodness! So he's going to be streaming that tomorrow, and then tomorrow we are.
What time are you going to stream now?
Copy away. Right, Chris?
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. I thought you were talking about now. No, definitely, it's been pretty awesome. The first time doing a giveaway through Gleam, and just trying to bring attention and to NLG channel, and just showing appreciation for gamers. I think Death Stranding, even though it's not my priority game to play, but I do recognize I do find it interesting, and I definitely, I'm glad Niall's going to be playing it. So, I will check out his stream, and something that I'll probably jump on later. But just showing appreciation for gamers, people that support us, and hey, it's the latest game. It's been a hot topic for a while, and yeah, I mean, just I enjoy just seeing what other people think about it when they're playing it now. So now I'm glad we're past having to worry about, the whole, what his trailers did or didn't show and what's the confusion about. Now we can actually hear from people playing it and, hearing their confusion in real time.
Yeah.
Hearing their confusion.
So we'll definitely see what Niall feels about it when he starts playing it tomorrow.
Oh, that's great.
No, it's just fun. It's all fun. So
Of course it
good
is.
luck to everybody that entered in. And so
The only thing that
tomorrow
I'm
will
confused
be the
about is
drawing.
the review scores. Even though we don't talk about scores, I'm just talking about the
I
review,
know.
the wording, and the numbers. It's like, this game is not fun. I'll give it a 9.5. It's like,
Yeah,
Right, what?
it's
you've
like
seen a
your
lot
number
of
doesn't match your wording and stuff. It's like,
mixed,
it's like,
a lot of mixed messaging
yeah,
It
it's
is
and
a
like,
lot of
wording.
mixed messages.
and don't,
Yeah,
it's like the either bad
and
writers or bad scorers. It's like,
it,
I don't care what the game gets scored.
yeah,
It's just, to me, that's like odd.
Yeah, that was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am
If this game deserves 10s, so be it. I don't care.
right.
Deserves 5s, so be it. I don't care. But you cannot say this is a drag. This game is not fun, and then still give it like hard marks. It's like, so when I
Right.
look at it, it's like, do I trust your wording or your number? Should I buy it or not?
yeah. I mean,
That's why we have. That's why Chris is giving a copy away, because then that person can get back.
Right.
Like,
So speaking
yeah, it
of
was
which,
definitely
when
worth
is
my
that-
time.
When is that giveaway? When is that happening? What time?
tomorrow's the last day.
I know.
It was from Monday to Friday. So I guess you know what? Maybe what I'll do is tomorrow when I get off of work, and I will tweet it out, and then that I'm gonna do the drawing, and then I'll reach out to the winner tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
that'll be tomorrow night, or about afternoon, late afternoon.
But yeah, definitely interesting. See what people think.
Yeah. And like y'all were talking about
Who we
the
can trust, you know? It's like
yeah, exactly, like the reviews that
Yep.
to me when I look at what I've been seeing these past week about the reviews and the mixed messaging, it almost seems like people are the game's okay. It has its issues, and it's all subjective, right? But at the same time, it almost seems like like you're saying, like they're saying it's boring and it's this, but then it still gets a high score. So I feel like some of the reviewers they don't want to piss off Kojima, especially on his first game. They kind of want to try to be fair, but at the same time they want to kind of kiss Kojima's ass. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
So that keeping his good graces going forward, because like Mike, not you, but there are some reviewers. Maybe they feel pressure, especially when you go to some of these award shows or conventions, and you mingle with some of these developers, and especially someone that's popular like Kojima, which maybe some of these reviewers are kind of like they just don't want to get in his bad graces, in the future. I don't know.
But here's the thing. I mean, what's the service then to Kojima? It's like if everybody praises him and he doesn't get negative feedback,
Right.
he thinks
How
he's
does
doing
he-
a good job, and then
Yeah.
he will not improve.
As long as it was fair,
Right.
I have never been blacklisted for giving a game a bad review, as long as I was fair about it. I got cussed out once by a studio head, but I've never actually, like even like EA, I remember giving Madden 06 when the Xbox 360 came out a decent but not great review. There were some things about it that were neat, but boy, it was kludgy as crap. It was not the best Madden game you've ever played, by any stretch. And they asked me about the review. And I reminded them that hey, everybody, at the time, they were having trouble getting review stuff out because there weren't codes. They're still, they were still giving, still sending discs. So, I had to go and buy my copy. So NLG bought that copy. And I'm like, I was being fair, but I didn't feel like I had to. I didn't feel like I had to be anything or say anything to keep in EA's good graces, and I still stayed tight with EA. They began sending me things anyway. It's just you have to be fair. If you are fair, then you can score a game low, and some developers take it as a learning experience.
Right. I mean, and also for your, for your listeners or your readers, I should say, don't you want to be honest?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
But if I buy that game and it's like, oh man, it's like, it gets raving reviews, and it's like really bad.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they're in the review, they do say, it's kind of boring. It's not really fun. And so when you play it, you're like, yeah, but maybe it's one of those games. And I think I heard about this too. Like the further you get in, then it starts getting interesting. And I mean, there's movies that are like that too. You just gotta follow through it. But sometimes gamers are not as patient. You have to grab their attention, right away. So.
Right. Well, and also like reviews, it's like it's different if you play something for your pleasure versus like it's your job. You need to have this done. Otherwise,
Well, yeah.
So that's different too. So that can affect your score as well.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, don't y'all think someone like Kojima can be kind of intimidating? For reviewers, Mike, like you were talking about, like you were saying, the what you did with EA. I mean, that's one thing. There's not really one person, one face that's that you see in front of the Madden game or certain game, but like this game, they might as well put Kojima's name right on the cover or the logo of his. Production studio, because it's
maybe.
So it's like, are they reviewing Kojima or are they reviewing the game?
Of course they are. So let's go. I mean, look, let's go back to that's always been the case, and anybody who wants to objectively argue that only has to look at Metal Gear Solid 5 when he was still with Konami. And they review sites were giving that game a 10 out of 10 when it was missing the online component. So there is there in modern game reviewing is always a factor of some homage that happens. I mean, I said there was a Kojima factor then. I still think there's a Kojima factor now. He's an icon. He's a legend. This was a big deal game. And look, to credit, there are a couple of places that held, that held serve. IGN's review was middling. The Metacritic rating on this right now is at 84. So but to your guys' original point, you can't write this game isn't fun and then give a video game a 9 for not being fun. You want to score it as a movie, okay, score it as a movie. But if you can't have fun playing the game when it's called a game.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's where I break. If the game's
I've
not
heard
fun,
people. Yeah, I've heard people try to damage control that and saying that um, that a game doesn't have to be fun for you to enjoy it, or just trying to. I'm like, why?
You need to
Why
have a
you-
fun factor, otherwise, why you
Right.
watch
I know,
stuff? You
like
might
you
as well,
said, it's a game.
slide your wrist and get it over with.
I mean, even if a game is serious, there's all different types of games.
Right.
And
Needs to be some
you go
kind
from
of
Cuphead to playing something real serious like Death Stranding, but at the same time, it's not it could be the story, some of the mechanics, some of the just quirky things that they put in the game. That's something that you can just enjoy yourself, right?
Right.
Like I like to explore. So, like, I could play Death Stranding, and I'm okay running all over the place, exploring and gathering and delivering and whatever the game is about. For me, that's okay. I'm cool as long as it's interesting. It keeps my attention. I'm good.
right.
So it's all subjective. People try to play it one way or another, but it all comes down to the gamer and what appeals to them when they're playing these games. So,
right?
you know. I,
But you have fun.
I'm
You
glad
have,
it's
you have
out,
the
and-
enjoyment, of exploring and other stuff.
I'm glad it's out. It's weird, but that's fine. Hey, it's another game that gamers can enjoy. Some are gonna love it, some are not. But hey, like we said earlier, I definitely look forward to seeing Niall's impression of it and other
Absolutely.
people that.
Because
Yeah.
he says right here, a game has to have an interesting story for me. So this is going to be a good test of that.
Yeah, for him. Yeah, yeah.
So, all right. So
hopefully it does.
let's keep moving along at the list of upcoming November games, because this is a formidable list. And by the way, for PC gamers, on Tuesday, they got even though it's 6 months late, they got a big game. Heard some, now I'm not a PC gamer, so I can't speak to it. I've heard there's a couple of small issues that they're having that I'm sure are going to get worked out. But Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and so folks have had a chance to play that. A big broken game, Scoop says. So,
Did Coop try it?
I'm assuming
Coop,
he
did
did.
you try it on PC? Mr. PC Master Race? But
Sounds
I
like
mean, but you've had other games in the past that have other Rockstar games like the Grand Theft Autos. None of them have really started off great either, right? I mean, there's always been little issues when these games jump over to PC.
He says he will when they fix it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we'll come back to that when Coop's had a chance to play it. For Switch gamers, tomorrow, the new Super
What are they
Lucky's
getting?
Tale.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to admit, my son has played the original Super Lucky's Tale on the Xbox One. I did not. So
I played parts of it. I have not finished it. But it's a fun game.
yep. And so Switch gamers are going to get kind of a new look at it. And interesting that it is only Switch
Or at least for now.
for now.
So this is completely different from the one that came out on the. Because remember, there was a version that came out on VR, and then
That was
there's
the
one
original,
that came out on the,
right?
the Xbox.
Right. That was an
That's
Oculus, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Coop said he played it. So this is an all new.
Well, this is an expanded version. So this has
Okay.
this has some new things in it. It's the original game with some new pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. So we have that. We have on the 15th is going to be a big day. I just showed I'll show it again. Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh yeah.
That comes out. I am very excited to try this. This is a game that if it's what people think it's going to be, we'll obviously get the probably either the 10-hour trial, or you'll get to play the first level in EA Access.
Yeah.
Then I will buy this. So.
Well, for me, it's Star Wars. I've already gone all in. I already pre-ordered it.
Nice.
So, in fact, I got some. When I turned on Xbox, I had some downloads to do. So nice. I picked up the Ultimate Edition.
All right.
So I definitely look forward to that.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna definitely get my hands on this. I'm gonna try to. So many games that I just need to get through. But I might have to put some of those Game Pass games on hold to play this.
Don't put them on hold too long.
I know.
They'll circulate out. That's one thing that I hate. It's like they need to make their as much effort as they can to keep those in Game Pass.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the games they've pulled out so far have been little things.
Yeah, or
some Xbox Reach, you know. Hey, Z Black.
By the next version.
Yeah, I agree, and so far we haven't seen a big game come out yet, and I'm hoping that's not going to happen.
But
maybe they look at the engagement.
I wish they kept the discounts going. It's like the games that you had downloaded, that are no longer in Game Pass. If you want those, still keep the discounts.
Still get the 20%.
Yeah, that would be service to your.
Do y'all notice any kind of warning ahead enough? Warning of the games that are coming out anywhere? Let us. Myself, I haven't noticed anywhere that gives you a heads up, like, hey, these games are coming out soon.
Oh yeah, releases.com.
Okay,
I mean, that's where I go.
Games in general,
but I mean,
Game Pass.
Shouldn't we see that on the dashboard, like something, showing that off? Like, hey, these games are coming in the Game Pass on these days. These games are leaving Game Pass on this.
Yeah, Xbox is really bad about it. Remember I forgot to mention that there's another game that I played, which is the Aladdin and Lion King Disney classic. I had a hard time finding it on the Xbox store.
Really?
It's not on the new releases in that list. I searched by name and I had a hard time finding it too because I don't know how it's listed. Absolutely horrible. I finally found it. It's like, dang.
Huh.
By that point, I should have gotten it. Nah, not for free. That hurts the developers, but Microsoft's giving me money for my efforts.
Oh.
Yeah, you got. Speaking of, you have this coming out next week. Also next week, if you're getting the Disney Plus streaming, you got the Mandalorian series to watch along with this. So that's going to be fun. If you know what the Mandalorians are, you know who Boba Fett is.
I have no idea.
His connection. Boba Fett is a clone, but he's. Remember in the movie, his father was Jango Fett? Well, he's a clone of Jango Fett. A lot of the clones were in the Clone Wars and the prequels. So, and Jango Fett, he was a Mandalorian also. So, there's just a awesome race that they're known for being assassins for hire, mercenaries for hire. They're just badass warriors, and they're also they can hold their own with Jedi's too. So it's going to be interesting to see how that series plays out. So, and then of course the movie coming out in December. So some Star Wars goodness here.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
True.
We'll see about that.
Hey, I think what I want to do.
I still, when I close my eyes and think about the Jedi, the Last Jedi, all I can think of is Princess Leia floating back into the ship and Mark Hamill drinking green milk. So hey, just a bro. So let's pump the brakes on.
No, I hear you, but I'm still a Star Wars fan, and I'm thinking I want to do a special Star Wars show. Either we can wait until the Rise of Skywalker comes out, or we can do one right before. You know, after seeing the series, the Mandalorian series, and playing the game, you know, like to drum up some excitement and talk to some other Star Wars fans out there.
Well,
so we shall see.
I
reserve
judgment.
I hear you. That's why we got to talk it out. We got to, you know. To me, it's interesting to hear
Indie Gamer
Star Wars fans' different points of view. What's up, Indy? We got Indy, and I saw Z Black Rider, Just a Bro jump in. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we do appreciate. So, for those of you guys who just jumped in, you should be seeing an upgrade in your visuals here. Excuse me. We are broadcasting tonight. We are testing broadcasting tonight in 60 frames per second, which we are looking at for future video showings like this. You should see the Jedi Fallen Order 60 frames per second trailer here. And we're going to do one more Project xCloud demo tonight that is more direct and doesn't require, and is not going to go through my webcam, which hopefully should also be 60 frames per second. So, hopefully you guys are not seeing any jittering or things like that. Everything's smooth. And if that's the case, then we'll also work on getting rid of that little XSplit logo there. Might actually have to buy XSplit. So, no, we're using the free version, just so everybody knows. We're not pirating anything. There's nothing illegal going on here. So anyway, also, November 15th is just that as far as big games. But then on the 19th, I know a game that many people, including myself, have been waiting a long time for. And
Pong 2.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm not sure yet if I am excited or setting up for disappointment. But next up on the 19th is Shenmue 3. The saga, the trilogy comes to its conclusion, we think. I mean, you guys know my roots. Sega Dreamcast, Shenmue, Shenmue 2 on import Dreamcast, and my Shenmue 2 that I got on the Xbox, the OG Xbox. I remember kind of jumping out of my chair a little bit when Yu Suzuki came out on stage at E3 20 whatever, and but first off, there hasn't been a whole lot on this game other than a couple of video clips, a couple gameplay clips, not a ton of information, and I'm just the budget for Shenmue back on the Dreamcast was huge. They're working with a budget that's not nearly that now. And they went, remember the guys, they went Kickstarter, and there was talk, well, was Sony pumping money into it? Are they not? It is coming out on just PS4 and PC right now, even though Deep Silver picked it up, and Deep Silver is publishing it. But there's no Xbox version. It is built in Unreal 4, so that may have a lot to do with the scalability of their budget, and maybe they don't need it all. But I'm not I'm not sure about this one yet, and I don't know why I feel partially excited but reserved.
I mean, I guess that's a good thing. So you kind of try to manage your expectations.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it seemed like when it got announced, it seemed like it got hyped up, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, people were like, well, it got announced on stage at E3, but why is it having to be crowdfunded? Instead of, why isn't Sony or somebody just giving them the money? So, and then, of course, like you said, but over time, it seemed like you're not really, what's going on with this game, and then really haven't seen much, and then here it is. It's coming out on the 19th, right?
Right.
So, I never played 1 and 2, so I really don't have anything to worry about or what to expect. So, again, I'll see what other people, like shout out to what's his name, Sapsky.
Oh yeah.
He's the biggest.
And
biggest.
So hopefully he's happy when he plays this game, that it meets his expectations. Because, like y'all said, that you can be looking for a big disappointment if you're expecting too much. If you're going into it, So we'll see. Is Shenmue 1 and 2 still in Game Pass, or is it still? But it's or BC.
I was gonna say there was a remaster. Shenmue 2 was never. Shenmue 2 wasn't BC, and of course Shenmue is Dreamcast. So there was a remaster.
Both. Oh yeah, the remaster. But okay,
They're not
that's
in Game
right.
Pass.
Okay.
That I know. Well, hold on.
I thought I had went in there at one time.
Let me make sure.
I think I have it on PC.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me.
Part of Humble Modeling, maybe.
Well, hey, you know what?
Was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I got it on PC and Steam.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at the Game Pass app. Let's go to the app.
Oh!
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap is right. Yeah, there you go, Coop. Yeah.
Well,
And
hold on, let me.
Like y'all were saying that, like this game really didn't have a big budget, so I'm not surprised that they're releasing it on PS4 and PC first, and then I'm pretty sure later on it'll jump over to Xbox.
You know what needs to come to Xbox? Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
1 and 2.5 or whatever
if
it's
anybody
called.
sees this is called Samsung Flow, and it allows me to run my phone on the PC.
Nice.
And what's really cool is I could take my mouse here, and I could act like my finger.
Oh!
So I could do this. So I can actually hold on. I can actually put the phone down, and I can and it even lets me use my my middle mouse button.
Oops. Does Mixer work? Does Mixer work now? Can you stream games that you play on the phone now?
I don't know. I haven't tried that. Hang on, I'm going down and looking. Panzer Dragoon Order, by the way, is in Game Pass, folks. This is a game you have to play if you are a Sega fan of any cloud. All right, here we're getting to the S's. Saints Row the Third is still in there. There it is, Shenmue 1 and 2.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought I had seen it.
So there you have it.
Oh,
Sorry,
hey,
I stand corrected.
Yeah, so before I even try to Shenmue 3, I'll definitely, if I want to jump in on it, I'll try this out
now,
first.
I need to
Thank you, Game
temper. So, Justabro, I need to temper possibly temper your enthusiasm here a little bit. It is an RPG of RPG epic proportions. There is a lot of this game that is a walking simulator. Yes, there is fighting. Yes, there is puzzles to solve, but there is a lot of walking and talking. So just know that up front.
So it's considered an action adventure?
It is considered. It's almost considered an action role playing game, to be honest. It's
that's what I was gonna have. Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to describe it, but there's a lot of walking around. It is not similar to Yakuza. It's not. It is Yakuza is more like a Grand Theft Auto type game or a Sleeping Dogs kind of game. This is not it. This is not sleeping. This is not anything like that.
And see, like, a lot of people, like, I love the Sleeping Dogs. I played Sleeping Dogs. I don't know. I really didn't get into that.
I did. I liked it. I haven't finished
and
it. But...
I'm not a big JRPG or I don't know.
This isn't a JRPG either.
No, not a JRPG. Yeah. But sometimes these type of games, I just can't get into it. I'm more of a Western RPG. You know, like Jago in the chat was talking. He said that he's not really a Western RPG type person, but he loved Obsidian. You know,
right?
So, yeah. No, it's not for everybody. Like you said, you got to temper your expectations. You got to know what you're getting into. So,
yeah.
Maybe back in the day, if I had jumped on it when it first came out, I would have been, oh, hell yeah. And maybe I'd be like Sobsky, but
yeah.
It's kind of really hard
look,
to jump
if you give Shenmue the time, and that's the other thing, if you give Shenmue the time, the game is glorious. I mean, I forgive me. I wasn't trying to downplay the original Shenmue series. The question becomes whether it holds up to this generation of gamers. That's a whole different question. But as a I mean, Shenmue was such a groundbreaking game back then that if you give it a chance and you give it the time, you can see the beauty in what Yu Suzuki created. And that's what's driving at least some of my my hope on Shenmue 3. It's just, and do I want to spend the money on it, which is the other part. I'm not.
You know, what's funny is that I've seen people showing Black Friday deals, and they're already showing Shenmue 3 on sale.
I mean, it's a $60 game. You know,
yeah.
I'm just not sure. You know, this is one of those where, and I'm just being honest, this is where Game Pass would shine with a game like this.
Yep.
You know,
or even PS Now.
Or PS Now.
And maybe that's something we can talk about a little bit because I saw some news about that Jim Ryan said that as of now, there will be no day-of-date games.
I saw that.
PS Now.
I saw that.
So,
and that's a mistake.
And we see that it looks like they're going to be kind of, you know, putting a little bit more importance on indie games again.
Mm-hmm.
We'll Yeah, we'll get over to that. We'll get over to that.
Yeah, but yeah, the PS Now definitely needs to.
Yeah, that's.
I understand they're kind of trying to figure that out, like how they're gonna, put in some of their big games in their day and date. But you look at Game Pass; it's been successful. So
yeah. So, all right. So that's the next. That's on the 19th. We'll come back to. Let's get back to the games list for people because we do want to get to that other stuff because that's a conversation in and of itself to have. So this is something. So this may not be a big game to many console gamers, but I think it's worth mentioning that on November 22nd is Sid Meier's Civilization 6 finally coming to console. And I'm trying to think how many of the Civilization games have come to consoles.
I don't know. Any? I think so.
I was talking to a buddy at work about this. He said he loves Civilization, so
The thing is, I don't have patience for those type of games anymore.
Yeah, me neither. I was big on these in the mid '90s.
Civilization Revolution came out in 2008. That's the only other one that I can see so far.
But there is a following out there. So.
Oh yeah, and that's why I brought this up. There is a huge Civilization, and you know what it is? It's one of those strategery games. It's like a Sim City except Civilization. So, there is there's a fan base for it. Now, is that fan base big on is it big on console? I don't know. The other thing that you have to remember too is that the original PC game came out 3 years ago. So, this isn't a new game. It's first time on console. So it would be really nice if it was crossplay. There's no cross anything in it, but it would be cool. That would be cool. Let's see. Hold on. All right, next up. That's the last for it. That's the last one for November. So some other small games that are coming out in November. For those who are possibly interested, we have Romancing Saga 3 on Switch and PS4 coming out on the 11th. We have let's keep going. VR Ping Pong Pro on the 12th. And Yaga on the 12th on PS4 and PC, which kind of looks that's a neat looking game. It's it kind of has that cel shaded look to it. There is a Doctor Who game coming out on the 12th. Yeah. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition on the 14th is coming out. Terminator Resistance on the PC on the 15th. Looks like a couple of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield come out November 15th. I don't know why I passed those over. So, is Romancing Saga 3 coming to Xbox as well? I don't think so. I think. Hold on. Let me take a screenshot here. The screenshot that I see only has Switch, PS4, and Steam. So, hang on a second. Unless there's a new trailer that I didn't see.
What's that? For which one?
Romancing Saga 3.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't know.
I'm looking. Well, all right. Square Enix's site says, hold on, SquareEnixGames.com. I hope. Okay, so they must have They must have added, because literally the launch trailer only had Switch, PS4, and Steam on it. So, but if you go to their website, if you go to the Square Enix site, it looks like they've added Xbox, Windows, basically Xbox, Windows 10, Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Windows 10, PlayStation Vita, Steam, the Apple App Store, and Google Play. So you can get it on mobile as well.
Oh, jeez.
So, all right. So where was I? So other small titles. Let me go back to my release list here.
Jeff's got you back in the chat.
Yeah, I see that. I'm trying to come on. Here we go. Yeah, he just mentioned, I hadn't gotten that far yet, but Pokemon Sword and Shield are on the 15th. WRC 8, for those of you who have played that, and I know that guys like Daz have played WRC 8, and I think you've played WRC, haven't you, Peter?
Yeah, yes.
So number 8's coming out for the Switch. Here's a game for you, Peter. Farmer's Dynasty coming out.
Farmer's
on the 21st.
Dynasty.
Yes, coming out on a.
How many farmer simulators do we need?
I don't know. So, it is. Remember the good old days of visiting your grandfather's farm? Well, there you are.
Mm.
What? Grandpa had a farm?
Yep, old McDonald.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Grandpa's farm, I remember, real quick story, they had chickens, had a chicken coop, right? So they told me and my brother, great-grandmother told me and my brother, go over there and chase a chicken, chase one, catch one and bring it over. Okay. So we finally did. She grabbed it from us, put it on the stump, chopped its head off. We're standing there in shock. She ties it up, puts it upside, ties it up on his legs, and said, all right, go pluck the feathers. It's dinner for tonight. It's like, damn. So, farming is pretty rough for chickens. Have you ever been on a farm?
I've never been on a farm.
It's fun. Had a Shetland pony. The damn thing, we'd ride it as kids. Damn thing kept trying to run us through the brush and knock us off. And you definitely don't want to accidentally. When my brother was riding it, I actually jumped out and yelled out. I scared the pony, and my brother went falling backwards. So I got my ass whipped for that one. So yeah, being on the farm is fun.
All right, back to the. That's funny. All right, on November 22nd, as Jeff was mentioning, Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts. And that takes us to the end of the month. So then we get into December, and we'll talk about December closer to December. Some decent stuff coming in December. Next Life is Strange episode. Not a lot of stuff, but some decent stuff.
Then closer to Thanksgiving, we can talk about Black Friday sales.
There we go. Obviously, we won't be on Thanksgiving evening.
No.
Obviously, unless we want to. I don't know. Depends on what you guys are doing.
I might be home. I'll be
Oh, I'll
sleepy.
be. Will I be home? Yes.
We always
Will
have
I?
Thanksgiving here, so
Yeah.
it just depends on when everybody leaves. So I am not expecting us. I am not expecting us to have a Thanksgiving show. But if the mood, we have though in the past, we've had a Thanksgiving show because we all got together and said, "Well, now what do we do?" Well, it's podcast.
Yeah.
So I know
Yeah.
we've done. I know we have done them before.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. So that is the games for November. So let's move over to what you were kind of alluding to, Chris. We'll get the Sony news kind of out of the way. Let's backdrop this against the some of the big news about the PlayStation 4, in that it crossed the 100 million mark of sales, which is a really good number. Let's call it as it is. That's huge. It outsold. It eclipsed the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo Wii. And while it may not, it's probably never going to hit the 140 million that the PS2 hit. It's going to come close. And I mean, they're already gearing up Black Friday sales. I saw if what Thomas said, if what Thomas posted was true, 199 PS4 Slims with like 4 games, and a 199 PSVR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeesh.
Yeah, if I, cause everybody knows if you've been around that my 4 custom Spider-Man PS4 was stolen. So, but that if I'm gonna jump back into PS4 again, that 199 PS4 Slim with I think it had The Last of Us, God of War, and Horizon Zero. I think I'm gonna jump on that. That's not a bad deal.
No.
And I have not played those games, so.
I was curious if we were going to get a PS Pro Black Friday deal this year.
Yeah, I kind of.
I think, yeah.
I didn't. I haven't noticed anything, but I haven't really looked for that. But yes, I have a 4K TV and all that, but I'm kind of like, after what happened, I think I'll just play on the Slim and just play the games that I haven't played yet.
Nothing wrong with
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, the base PS4 is still phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
And again, look at Sony is targeting Last of Us 2 for the base PS4. So yeah. Justin Bro says he's thinking about the PSVR bundle. Get it. It's always hard to explain how good PSVR is until you try it. Peter and I know.
Yeah, it's a very enjoyable experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, this PS Pro bundle is going to have to be really, really, really good, because otherwise, pending I'm wrong about backward compatibility, and I still don't think I am, the PS5 is probably where I'm headed. So unless I can get a PS Pro for like $250 and trade in my current model, I might hold off. So, because what I really want, what I'm going to be looking at too, is more stuff for my Google Home Assistant. I wasn't into any of that stuff until we got one of my wife's friends gave us a Google Home Mini and started using it, and then Xbox added Google Home support for the Xbox One, and it works with my Samsung stuff, and I'm like, all right, so yeah. So I'm thinking about getting, and we have a Nest doorbell, so we've got the Nest camera, so it's all interchangeable. So anyway, so the Black Friday deals, I mean, to me, show that even though the PS5 is coming out next year, they're still on their track of the PS4 being their revenue stream until a couple of years in.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Ryan talked about how they want to scale people into the PS5. They want to do it. They want to do it in a way they haven't done it before, but I don't. It's going to depend on their pricing. So,
and you've always referred to the so-called next gen as more of a next iteration, kind of like when we went from the OG Xbox One to the X and the base PS4 to the Pro.
Right.
And both of them, Xbox pretty much pushed the X a little bit more, but Sony really did not push the Pro as much. Like here it is, here's your option, but that base PS4 Slim still kept selling crazy, more so than the Pro. So now we look at the PS5 and the Scarlet coming out, and yeah, they're gonna want people to buy them, but like you're saying, they're still gonna support the PS4, and the OG, and of course the Xbox One is still gonna be supported. So it's not like they're gonna be pushing them as hard, but it seems like they're more, like you said, it's more like an iteration. Like here's the next upgraded console, like they did with the Pro and the X. If you want it, here it is. If not, you can still play your games on the older consoles until you're ready. That's what it seems like. It's more, so Sony's still going to rely on sales on the PS4s and then gradually, they're going to sell a lot of PS5s, but they're still, like you said, they're still going to be relying on those PS4 Pro, sales. We'll see if they're still producing them, and then again, they'll gradually, I'm sure within a couple of years, they'll stop production on them. So we'll see. That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I guess it all depends. If the PS5 comes out at a low price, let's say it comes out at $399, which I doubt it.
Hey, no way.
Then if it comes out at $399, then they're telling gamers, we want you to have the PS5. They might as well stop producing the PS4.
Right.
If they do. So we'll see. But if the next consoles come out at $499, then I could say here it is. Here's the next one. It's a little more expensive, but it's also a more powerful next console. So it's up to you.
I agree. I mean, I agree with that. How they get people up into the PS5 is going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they can't do it, right? I'm not, because we are still talking about the power of the PlayStation, right? We are talking about the power of the brand, and that brand has clout. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And there is no doubt that they're going to market it in their typical Sony power fashion. I mean, these guys know how to market their stuff. Mm-hmm. So, there's Jim Ryan said this recently as a follow-up to one of his interviews with Game Industry. He said, one of our tasks is to take that PS4 community and transition it to PS5 at a scale and pace that we've never delivered before. He didn't get into real specifics, but it's going to be interesting how they do that. So now what they're doing as well is they continue. One of the things that we're, I know that they're shaping. They're obviously they have to spin this as good stuff, but they're still making changes to their infrastructure and their leadership. And
Mm-hmm.
so you guys, I know you guys didn't know him as well as I did, but another person that just left Sony was Gio Corsi. Now, if you ever saw him on stage, he was the global second party games head. So his he was also the big PlayStation Vita guy. And if you ever remember him, he'd come out at E3 on stage in a really neat hockey jersey. That's what I knew him for. But he was the head of second party stuff. So he was the one getting those second party deals, and really working through the Vita. So they continue to bleed talent. And I know that Jim Ryan obviously is putting his best spin and face on it, but at some point there's got to be a little bit of concern of who they're losing. Now, the other move that they made, which just came through, I guess it came through today. Was it today or late last night?
Not today. This morning.
Was it today? It was this morning. Was the promotion of Guerrilla Games' managing director and co-founder Herman Hulst, and I do have a picture of Herman. Keeps I'm telling you, if we call him Herman Hulst Hemsley, he could be the next Triple H. But Herman is now the new head of Sony Worldwide Studios. And this starts today. So he starts immediately. And he is now in charge of all of Sony's game development. So
Decima engine and everything.
Well, then that's probably part of the reason that they like him for this.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be asking yourself, didn't they have a president of Worldwide Studios?
Yeah.
Our good friend Shuhei Yoshida? Well, yes. He is not going to be the head of Worldwide Studios anymore. He is taking on a new role as, and I'm looking to see if there's an official title. I have not seen one yet, but basically what he is going to do is move into more of a role managing the indie game development side. So there has been some rumblings in the background that a lot of the indie developers who, remember the whole PlayStation Loves Indies thing from 2013 on, that as Sony began to take off and as the PlayStation began to get, gigantic, that a lot of indie stuff got left behind. You don't hear a lot from companies like Housemarque anymore. Some of those games, like the Broforce developers and stuff like that. So Shuhei Yoshida is going to move into a role of managing that. So basically, he's going to be the equivalent of Chris Charla, who runs the ID at Xbox program. And I at first glance, it sounds like they're demoting him and they're making him go play with the indie studios. But I wonder how much of that decision was made with Yoshida's blessing himself. I mean, he does like those indie games, and and it's somebody who can who has been at the head of the worldwide studios for so long, he understands. He understands what it means to get those games in, and maybe he's the right guy to head that up. Chris Charla was certainly the right guy to head up ID at Xbox, and you see the growth there. Shuei Yoshida is a known quantity within PlayStation, and maybe that's the right move to make to bring those guys back in. And will we see Housemarque and stuff like that get back into the action? Yes, I think so. So it's an interesting set of moves. I don't think this move. I don't think is as scary as people leaving. So I'll get your guys' take on these. So, what do you think about the head of Guerrilla Games moving up and Yoshida moving over?
But I think it's just interesting, just the whole shuffle and the whole Sony board itself. People leaving either voluntarily or voluntold. So it's like it's interesting to know what's going on in their mind. What's the purpose? And sometimes a shuffle can be good, and maybe that's all they're doing is I don't know. But I think the whole thing about indies and stuff, to me that's interesting, because it's possible that on the Xbox side we have Game Pass, on Sony side we have PS Now, that it's going to be a battle of the indie games, having them exclusively in their subscription model.
Yeah, who gets them first?
Who gets them first? Time limits.
Yeah,
maybe permanently. Who knows?
Even third party.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Could be.
I think that's where we're going. You also got to worry about Stadia getting in on the action.
Nobody has to worry about Stadia. I'm sorry. When is Stadia launching again?
I thought it already launched. No.
Yeah.
Did it or did not it? Yet? I don't know.
Peter could have been reviewing that for us, but he canceled his.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, November 19th.
Oh, okay.
I had to look it up.
See, even the dog is like, "What's Stadia?"
Exactly.
Yeah, he's like, Stadia.
I'm
what?
sorry. We're looking at this from an objective angle. I don't know how Stadia succeeds. I just don't know. I don't know how it succeeds.
Google got the money. They got the money to lose.
Well, yeah, true. The thing is, like, a subscription service will only work if you have your own games, or at least some in it, because you cannot be dependent upon third party. Look at Netflix, they're losing things left and right. No Disney, because Disney is doing their own. So that's why they started creating their own movies.
Netflix is
same thing with Amazon too. Amazon Prime
yeah.
movies, shows, and other stuff.
Well, everybody's getting on. Like Spectrum has their own little, movies or TV series, and
right.
Everybody's trying to get in on the, come over here and check out our show. Everybody's trying to have their own exclusive. So you can see definitely Xbox and Sony are going to get into that little subscription war.
Mm-hmm.
This guy from Guerrilla, I don't really know too much, as far as his history. I wonder who made the decision to put him as head of the worldwide.
Jim Ryan did it. This was Jim Ryan's. Both.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, yeah. Is he a Jim Ryan guy? Because most people. If you have not been in a company for years, like I worked for Lockheed for 19 and a half years. So I've seen a lot of, you see when management, depending on who is the main guy that comes in, they like to bring in their guys in. They're going to kind of push out the previous management. So I've seen that happen a few times at Lockheed, and and sometimes it's for the better, sometimes it's not. Like, and the reason why I got laid off because we had a terrible management there towards the end, and they pretty much pushed out a lot of good guys, and they brought in their own were their guys, and didn't go well. So we'll see where this goes. I mean, it's Yoshida. He is an older. He is older, so you know how some of those Japanese. What was it? The guy that he retired around 60.
Oh, the
So
head of
Yoshida's. Yeah. I don't know how old Yoshida is, but he's not. He may not be around much longer. Before maybe this is something that he wanted to jump into. It's not. He doesn't have to worry about it. It's not a huge project for him. You know, he has relationship with a lot of developers out there, so you know he's probably good for working on the indie stuff. So hold on, I'll be right back. We gotta take this one out.
Okay.
Before it starts yanking off your leg and stuff.
Right. So, I mean, is there cause for alarm yet? I guess is a good question. You know, all the people who were there at the beginning don't care anymore. So going into the PS5, they're going in with a lot of new, and some we don't totally. You know, is this just? I don't know what to make of the transitions at this point in time.
No.
You know, but we'll see.
We will see, indeed.
So
it's easy to look back and say like, oh yeah, this is what happened and why, but
yeah,
we're not insiders.
No, we're not. We're not insiders.
Gamers first.
That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, while he's walking the dog, this might be a good time. Might be a good time to test this. To test what xCloud looks like, on an actual decent looking screen. So I'm gonna bring this back up. Here's my phone. Here's my game stream. So this is neat. Let me turn this sideways. Now I can see my phone, so I can look down and see my phone. But what you're seeing now is a direct wireless casting from the phone to the PC. All right, now we'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m., folks. He is going to be streaming Death Stranding tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, over on the Twitch channel. So make sure you're over there. It's twitch.com/OG_NL Gaming, just like you see with the Twitter and everything else. So,
nice.
All right, so let's see how this works. And I believe that I can also get and this is going to be in 60 frames per second. So this is going to be really cool if it works well. Oops, turn on window to capture. Let's see if it also does audio. I don't know if it will. All right, so there's my Xbox once again. And I'm going to pick something that's actually that we did. I know.
Sorry about that.
I know what's going to look good. Hold on.
So we're looking at the new dashboard?
No, we're trying one more xCloud demo in 60 frames per second using my Samsung Flow. We're going to do Burnout Paradise Remastered because that is definitely 60. So in previous demos, I've had to take my webcam and just kind of shoot it down and point it towards the screen, and hope. I don't have to do that now. Let me see if I do need to turn the screen up a little bit, though. Turn the... Okay.
And you said you might want to watch the music.
Yeah, that's true. We're not monetizing, so screw them.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't care about us.
No.
Paradise.
Well, let's see. Well, I'm not getting any audio at the moment. Let's see. Resolution. It's going to be high. I'm actually not getting any audio at all. Alright, so let's see though if at least let's check out what it looks like.
Yeah, it's just my little one, Jeff. Took him outside, but...
That's alright. Let's go to Paradise Cars.
So this is, you're playing on your mobile right now?
Right. So
And
I'm looking, you see I'm looking down, I'm playing on mobile. For whatever reason I don't have audio, and I don't know if that's because the Samsung Flow is doing that, or if it shouldn't. I don't know if maybe it's just the app at the moment. But so let's see what this looks like. It's definitely not taxing my system. All right, so let me bring down the resolution a bit because it's definitely scaling it down. But at least you can see the details a lot better than you could before. Let's see if that does anything. That's a little better. All right, let's go back up to high resolution. So you guys won't actually see this. It's definitely 60 frames per second on the phone, but you're not going to see it on the stream. It's just So, but you could actually this time now see how detailed the game is rather than the piss poor what I had going on with the video cam. Which was dark, you couldn't see crap. But here you can at least see what's going on. But this is what minus the fact that it's a little sharper and definitely frame rate is perfectly steady on the xCloud. This is what you will be able to see when you play. Actually, it does look amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And it's responsive.
But you still have to look at your. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I feel like the controls are pretty on spot.
They are. Horizon had a hair bit of lag, but that also might have been the car I was using. I mean, I'm not experiencing any real input lag at the moment, and like I said, it's rock solid on the phone itself. So I'm not having any real difficulty here. So if I wanted to switch over to Outer Worlds, I could do that.
Hmm.
I do wonder why I've got no sound. Oh, there we go. Let's see if I have sound in the. Did you hear it? Well, you guys might
Yeah.
not have heard. Oh, did you?
I heard something.
Let's see if there's sound now. But this gives you a much better look at the X. And so the cool thing about this too is that once I'm once I get my system updated, and I can use my DualShock, I'll show you guys what the PlayStation 4 looks like. But this is much better than what I was doing before. So now I can do some much nicer demos for you guys.
So the PlayStation Remote Play is pretty much is this the same thing as xCloud?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here.
So and the Remote Play's been around for a while, right? You're able to do that on the Vitas, but it's new coming to Android and iOS, right?
Yes. It was new to
Okay,
Android.
so-
iOS had it. It's new to
Okay.
Android.
I mean, you didn't really. I mean, I remember people talking about it on the Vita, but other than that, I never really heard anybody really say much or Sony say much about it until recently. Now that Xbox is really pushing for the xCloud on mobile, it's becoming a thing, you know. So how come Sony didn't really push it?
They need a competition.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe.
Because you could play your whole library, right, on the Remote Play. Any of your games you have digital on your PS4.
I don't know. Can you?
Yes, you can. I don't know
Okay.
why it's not finding my PS4. But I don't know if it's got to be on already. That is the
So
one
your
nice thing about
PS4 is your server.
Yes.
Kind of. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, it worked. It was working the other day.
No, I mean this it's cool that now that we
All right.
were able to, you know, a lot of us console gamers like to enjoy playing our games on console at home or PC. But if
Definitely.
you can take your games on the go with your phone that you have in your pocket, you know, everyday use, and you can just play whenever. Continue that game that you were playing, you know, if you go out of town or whatever. My thing is, you know, of course, it's not very convenient to carry a controller with you all the time.
That's my issue.
Unless you plan it. So I'm hoping that we're going to start seeing some cool controller adapters where you can just hook it up to the phone and it's very, you know, small and it's, you know,
Yeah.
convenient where
that
it
is-
fits in your pocket or whatever, or just leave it on your phone, you know.
Yeah.
So I've seen some pictures of some patents or whatever. So I don't know if those are real or not. So we'll see.
Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of on game, you know, like on screen controls. I was having a problem with that with
Mhm.
to be honest, I was having a problem with that with the PS4 remote play. So
Mm.
speaking of which, phone's locked up. Okay. All right. Man, it's 11:30 already. Okay, so one more thing one more thing to talk about before we call it a night, and that is I don't know if I've got a good picture of it or not yet, so I'm gonna just take a quick screenshot. I know it won't be perfect, but that's okay. Perfect is not always my thing. Happening next week is XO19, Microsoft's XO19, starting on the 14th of November and going through the 16th. So we will be able to watch this. They're going to do a special episode of Inside Xbox. They're going to show all kinds of stuff on Mixer, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. And by the Whoop Indie Gamer, are you going? And I know that I know our friend Katerina is going, and hopefully, and they're going to come back and talk to us about their experience when they
that'd be cool.
Back. So I'm looking forward to seeing them again, and but this
like to get Indy on here.
I would love to.
We can schedule him to talk about his EGX.
I know. So on Thursday the 14th, they're also doing a fan fest. So the Inside Xbox show is they're gonna be part of that. So there's gonna be a live audience, and the question is, what are we gonna see? I mean, is this just gonna be? Is this just gonna be stuff we already know? Is this just a fan fest? Is this like a? I mean, obviously, this is what the equivalent of. Well, they used to do these in the past, but this is what we used to have with with Sony's stuff at the end of the year. So, are we gonna get any special? Are we gonna get any special drops? We're gonna get some. Are they gonna roll out? Hey, we were just kidding. We really did buy Platonics.
Yeah. That was
Yeah, I know that was.
You
funny.
saw that response from Platonic.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I don't know. Like last year, it was mainly about pushing Game Pass, and then they had the announcements of picking up Obsidian and Exile, right? In Exile.
Right.
That's the two they announced, right? So that and that was big. That was for them. And here we are. We're playing Outer Worlds on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to playing Wasteland 3. So I'm hoping and expecting at least some surprise announcements. Maybe a couple studio requirements. I've been hearing some rumors of they might start teasing, what's some of these studios are working on. And since they're in London and they are in the backyard with Playground Games, you have Ninja Theory and Rare. That's their turf. So I'm hoping that they kind of have something to show.
Right. But Rare,
So we'll
I
see.
hope Rare's got something new to show.
Well, they have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're working on something. Sea of Thieves is already done. They
And
got
I
a
don't-
small team supporting it. So
I don't mean Battletoads, by the way.
no, Battletoads was done by another studio.
That's something substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be another big game beyond Sea of Thieves. That they've already been not working on. So, and Ninja Theory has another game. I'm sure they're gonna show more Bleeding Edge, and that does look cool.
Oh yeah, right.
But it would be cool if they reveal look at this is the other project we're working on. They don't have to show a lot, but whatever, tease it, and then Playground. Will they use this opportunity, being in London, where Playground is at? I'm not sure. I don't think they're in London, but in the UK, will they take this opportunity to reveal? Are they working on Fable, or are they working on a new IP? So we'll see.
Yeah.
But people have to understand too. They got to go into this like, I'm sure we're gonna hear stuff that we may already know, and hopefully there's some goodies, and they do sprinkle in some surprises. But people can't expect this to be like the biggest show, reveal everything, and then people get disappointed, and they have to talk about it.
People are gonna get disappointed anyway. That's what. See,
they will.
Right, because there's just, to your point, what honestly could they really? I mean, they're not going to bring any big gun announcements out, are they? Could they?
I mean, it's all up to them. I mean, if you're going to spend this much money and have, they had a good XO 18, and this one looks like it's going to be a bigger showing. It's up to them. They could tease the Scarlet, give a little bit more information on it. What Xbox games do we expect to see early next year? I would think that this would be the opportunity for them to kind of, Wasteland 3. Are we going to get is that coming out early next year?
Right.
Battletoads.
I think we're going to get a look at Battletoads.
Yeah. And what was another game? Bleeding Edge is probably coming out early next year.
Right.
So we'll probably see some of those games, some of the smaller games, show them off, show a reveal date early next year. And then, because we all know that, come next E3, it's going to be all about the next consoles and then what's coming out, in the fall.
Right.
So that's my take on it.
Yeah. What do you think, Peter?
Say again?
So what do you think?
Don't know. I was like,
riveting.
I don't know. I don't care.
Riveting commentary from Peter Huting.
He's like,
exactly.
as long as they show some more some DLC for Breaking Point.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like, I don't want to see Battletoads. We've seen enough. Have it come out. Don't you think? You want to see more?
I haven't seen much.
Well, that's what I've seen was enough. Maybe I'm not that much interested in it. Maybe more hands-on than
yes,
seeing.
I would like that. I'd like that.
Yeah. So, I did see that there is also, after the show, there's going to be a deal with IGN where they're going to be sitting down with IGN and talking about, and developers. I guess some of their Xbox game studio developers will be with Phil, with IGN. So if that's a schedule, they have to have some news from these studios where they kind of want to talk about it on IGN.
Do you think we might? All right, so hold on. So here's a couple things. Microsoft is going to announce some Black Friday deals. All right. Here's all the games that they are showing. This is a list. I'm on Xbox's news site. Here is what they're going to show. It says over 24 titles playable at XO19. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Collection. So there's one for PC. Battletoads, so they are going to show Battletoads. Bleeding Edge, they are going to show that. Cyber Shadow by Yacht Club Games. So Yacht Club Games, you guys know from Shadow Knight. So they're bringing Cyber Shadow, which is honestly looks like a Ninja Gaiden game from the 16-bit era. They're going to be showing off Doom Eternal, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Forager Humble Bundle, Forza Horizon 4 Lego Speed Champions. So we're going to get, but that's out already, isn't it? Gears 5, Halo Master Chief Collection, which I guess, so they're going to show off the PC version. Haven, Levelhead, Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I'm looking forward to. Minecraft Dungeons, Fogs, whatever that is. Project Resistance from Capcom. Roller Champions, which is a free-to-play, skill-based team PvP sports game. Guess coming out on the PC. She Dreams Elsewhere. Skatebird. I remember, didn't Coop do that? Didn't he stream Skatebird for us? Jedi Fallen Order, Streets of Rage 4, The Good Life, Tunic, and Wasteland 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of cool games, a lot of games that people are going to enjoy. But will they tease any big games that are being worked on? And, you know, like I said, it would be nice if they do it with Playgrounds, Ninja Theory, and
the Initiative.
And Rare.
It'd be nice if
I thought I heard somewhere too that Obsidian might have some news on their next game.
Okay.
Because I think they've already been working on it. Was it Pillars of Eternity? That's their other game, I think. Is that theirs or is that in Exile?
Pillars of Eternity is let's see. Pillars of Eternity is Obsidian.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be their next big game they're working on. So
the next Pillars, because Pillars came out in 2015. So
yeah, so with that Microsoft money, put more into it. So I never played Pillars. Is it? So what is that like? Is it kind of like a Western RPG? Is it like an MMO type?
It's more like a Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance kind of isometric.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just saying to people, prepare
exactly.
Prepare for correct or for realistic expectations. I just put it that way. Just prepare yourself for realistic expectations, because you're not getting I just think what you're getting is you're not going to get what you think you're going to get. And it's not necessarily. I'm not saying this. This could just be not the show for it. But I think people are going to get, hyped up, and come away going, well, they didn't, like has been done. So like we get to see a lot with social media. People are going to.
Yeah.
People are going to be disappointed because we're not going to see. Doesn't look like we're going to see Halo 5 or Halo. Sorry, doesn't look like we're going to see Halo. Infinite. Sorry, I was looking at Doom Eternal and I did not want to say. I didn't want to say Doom Infinite. I mean, we're not going to get. You're not going to get any of that. I don't know, man. I just temper your expectations. So.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at it like I watch it, and I'm gonna see stuff that hey, it's cool. I like that, but I'm not gonna sit there and be like, well, they didn't show me what I wanted, so it was trash. And you know, there's I do expect this one. You know, going into next year. Next year is going to be huge. I expect this to give us some look into what's coming in early next year. Some of the games you already know, but
Right.
I think it'll still be fun to watch. So I expect a couple surprises. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not surprised, I'm not going to cry about it on Twitter and all that trash and that Xbox is doomed and Phil needs to go and blah blah blah. So. No, but it's cool. I'm glad that this is something to look forward to next week. So.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's with all the games that we showed in November coming out, and here we are. We have XO19. You got Death Stranding here out. Really is much, reason for people to complain about. There's something for everybody. And then you saw Shenmue. Not my cup of tea, but then there's a lot of people excited for it. So gaming is great. You ain't gonna get everything you want. It's like my dad used to say, wine in one hand and shit in the other. So
can't always get what you want.
Yeah. So I like I said, I just enjoy what I see, what happens, and not gonna get upset about it. And then come next week. When is it? It's on what day does it come out next week? 15th?
Shenmue?
No, the XO19.
No, the 14th through the 16th.
Okay, so the 14th should be the big show, right? And then the following 2 days would be Inside Xbox, kind of going over what was shown and talking to devs and blah blah blah.
Yep.
So we'll be able to talk about it next week, Thursday, then, right?
Yep. Yes, we will.
Cool.
So, all right. Well, that is all I've got for tonight, boys. What do we got? Anything?
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. I got the Elite 2 controller.
Yeah, the Elite.
I was going to bring that up.
The Elite.
If anybody got it. What's your thoughts?
It's nice in the hand. It seems like even though the shape looks differently, I'm not sure if it seems nice in the hand, but maybe it's because it's more balanced. I don't know. So far, so good.
Okay.
I like that it has now 3 profiles and 1 buttons disabled thing. So it's nice to have an extra profile. So I have my Gears profile, I have my Forza profile, and then a profile that I use for other games like Breakpoint. Such nice.
Very nice. All right, so
much better than the first one, right?
So yeah, I mean it's.
Give us the rundown.
I like it better than the first one. And we have to see about battery life. It's like today there was an orange light came on. So I think that means that my battery is half full or half empty. So we'll see how long it will last.
Okay.
But it's overall functionality wise, it's like the first Elite. I don't know if in the first Elite if you could assign your buttons to like take a picture or take a screen grab and take video, but now with this one you can, which is also nice.
That is nice.
And they also have kind of like a shift action, so you can basically have multiple actions on one button.
Night, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, we're getting out of here too as soon as Peter's done his review.
Yeah. So I mean,
You know when Jeff is leaving, you know that's time to go.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Nice.
good. It's I got it on sale at Costco. So otherwise, I mean, it's a little kind of on this, spendy price for $179.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you get what you pay for.
Well, I
But
would
still.
hope so with this.
And now they also have the rubber grips on, like on the top. In here,
Oh,
Controller.
very nice.
so it's wrapping all the way around.
So hopefully
So a
that
lot of
lasts.
people are having issues here with the rubber coming off.
Yeah.
I never had that issue.
Huh.
Hopefully the sticks are better built, because my other Elites, my first one, basically the sticks kind of sunk in, and I kind of have the same thing with the replacement that I got. So hopefully this one lasts a little bit longer.
Nice. Too rich for my blood, though. I'd be sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
Although,
I plan on getting one.
I've
Gonna
got
be my
some,
Christmas present.
I was gonna say I've got so my company's switching us to honor system PTO. So so next month they're cashing out all of our current PTO, and since I literally, even if I take off, I don't really take off because I'm usually working anyway. I got my laptop with me, and I swear to God, when I went to Niagara Falls, I worked every night. Kids went to bed, wife went to bed. I went downstairs, had things to do to keep going. I probably only logged about, I don't know, maybe 20 out of 40. I went a week and a half and probably clocked only like 20 hours of PTO. So I've got like 300 some odd hours. They're cashing me out at the end of the month, at the end of the beginning of December rather, and that might be Elite controller money, and then I could take my Project Scorpio controller and make it basically my primary controller for the xCloud stuff. So perhaps we shall see.
Yeah, I plan on getting one. So, and
The thing is, like, it's something that you use with every game you play.
yeah,
Right.
So it's like,
Right. No.
yeah. Because I didn't get on the first Elite because kind of when it came out, it was kind of like, yeah, it's kind of expensive, and then I got laid off. It wasn't really on my list, but now that I can afford some nice things, I want the Elite 2. I want that experience.
Yeah.
I've heard from Coop and you guys talking about the first Elite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely would like. And then I like the idea where you can map the buttons.
Yeah. And it's stored on the controller, so you can take it to whatever Xbox you go, and your buttons are programmed that way.
And this one's Bluetooth, right? The first one,
And it's Bluetooth as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. Kind of wish they had like a trade-in program, official trade-in program.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
and maybe because they don't want to. GameStop should have that. That would have been nice.
Yeah, they probably do. You probably get barely anything for it, unless there's some specials,
Yeah. Oh, GameStop, the pawn shop for gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're Nate.
But Nate knows how to.
Nate knows how to work the
He
system.
knows how to rig them instead of them rigging him. He scams them. They don't scam him.
I think now he keeps games. He's keeping GameStop in business.
No, I think he's shutting GameStop down is what he's doing.
He's the reason why they're shutting them.
No, he changed tactics. I will not speak for him, but
Oh man! All right. Anything else on the docket for tonight?
no.
No, that's
right.
good talk. I missed
Yep.
you guys from last week.
Yes, indeed.
And this weekend, hopefully I can knock out Outer Worlds, so I can get ready for Jedi Fallen next week. That's
Okay.
my game next week for next week. So next one.
All right.
So can't wait.
Oh, it's Mustang o'clock.
It is. We're getting
It's definitely. Yep, it's time to haul ass out of here.
all ass out of here. That sounds good. All right. Well, as always, thank you to the awesome chat room. Hopefully, it was good to see Coop back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good to see Coop back. So, we will see you guys next week. And thank you, Indy. And we love you too, man. We're gonna get you on here
Andy.
very
Appreciate
soon.
him. Yes.
So, we'll let you go to sleep. And
Yeah. I don't know how he stays up. When
I
does
know,
he
but-
sleep?
Yeah,
Nothing
some
but
people never
respect.
sleep.
Because I
Nothing
see him
but
on
respect.
I see him on Twitter during the day too, and
Yeah.
I'm up at I go to work at 4 a.m. I see him on there once in a
Maybe he
while.
sleeps with one eye open, which
He's a
means the other
vampire.
one is closed.
Yeah.
So, we got a new subscriber to the channel.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Welcome.
well,
Yeah, appreciate it. I've seen quite a few subscribers these past few days, and I know a lot of that has to do with hoping they win the game. But hopefully, if they're listening or they listen to this later, we welcome everybody.
and they can
No matter
come
what type
back.
of gamer you are, come in and let us know what you're gaming, what you like the game, what your jam, what's your history. Got a good group of positive guys in the chat, so we welcome any new gamer to the NLG family.
Exactly.
All right.
That. I was in the DM with Daz the other day, and he goes, "When is the next WDFC?"
Yeah.
So he's hoping we can do it this weekend. So I think I'll plan it for Saturday early. I don't have no plans Saturday, so I think what I'll do is, I'll get up, get some early gaming in, take care of some business, and I think I'll schedule it for sometime early Saturday. I'll get with I'll get with the Coop and Daz and Witty, see if they want to do something early Saturday afternoon or so. So I will tweet that out and let you guys know ahead of time.
Sounds like a plan.
And then also tomorrow I will do the drawing for the Death Stranding code winner, and I will announce that tomorrow.
All right.
So
Sounds
good
good.
luck to everybody.
Yes.
Appreciate
Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
it. Don't blame me. Don't blame me if you win Death Stranding and then you're confused afterwards. You just don't know what to do with your life after. Nah.
Oh man. All right,
Look forward
guys.
to it.
Everybody have a great night. We'll see you next week. Play on, gamers. We out.
Game on.